Listen, today I have only one goal, one aim, one intention to make this the day, the time, the precious moment when you start conquering your fear. Let me repeat that. I want this to be the precious moment when you start conquering your fear. But who am I talking to here? If you are sick and tired of complaining about your situation and yet you are doing very little about it, then I am talking to you. If you are seeing people who are not half as intelligent as you are, who don't work half as hard as you do, who don't know half of the things that you know, and yet they are achieving twice, 3 times, or even 4 times what you're achieving, then I am definitely talking to you. If you are brave enough to admit, even if it's only to yourself, that fear is holding you back from taking the actions that will move you forward, then I am most certainly, definitely, and absolutely talking to you. And yes, I have only one goal, one aim, one intention to make this the day, the time, the precious moment when you start conquering your fear. The question is, are you in or out? Hello, and welcome to the Half Hour with John Mungoshi. And today, you are conquering your fear. When a child is born, scientists tell us that child has only 2 fears at birth. One is the fear of heights, and 2 is the fear of loud sounds. The rest of the fears we have, we acquire them, we learn them, and for good reason too. If a child is not afraid of fire, that child could get burnt. So fear protects us. However, fear is actually a curse when it stops us from pursuing our God-given purpose. When we are too scared to move out of our comfort zone and take those actions that will help us make a positive impact in the world. So we need to question our fears. We need to examine our fears as adults. Otherwise, some of us still have the minds or the fears of a 7-year-old when we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s. What are the major fears that people have? As adults, there are 2 major fears I've seen that stop people from pursuing their purpose. Number 1 is the fear of failure. We paint such a disastrous picture in our minds of failure. Our minds produce horror movies of everything and anything that could go wrong and how absolutely terrible life would be. Well, guess what? Failure is hardly ever fatal. It's hardly ever fatal, right? Just as success is hardly ever permanent. So you need to get real with that, but we'll cover that in more detail on the other side. The second big fear that people have, which is actually stupid. Yes, I said it, it's stupid. The fear of other people's opinions. What will people say? You see, when you are a little child, the major influence on what you do is instinct. You instinctively do something, you cry, you get food, etc. When you grow up to be a pre-teen and into teenagehood, major influence tends to be role models. You want to take after, look like somebody else, walk like somebody else, talk like them, like if they're a rock star or if they're a pop star or something like that. As adults, most of our decisions are shaped, and I'm ashamed to say this, but they are shaped due to conformity. We want to conform to other people's opinions. We want approval from other people. And so we hold back on what we need to do because we are afraid not only of the failure, but of what people will say when they see us failing. And that is the root of most of your fears as an adult. Does that make sense? I don't know, but it certainly doesn't serve you well. So, whilst I'm talking about facing your fears, taking action, I need to correct a misconception before it even arises. When I'm talking about conquering your fear, I'm talking about conquering your fear whilst adhering to principle. Those of you who've been listening to me long enough know that I am very, very firm and strong on principle. What do I mean by principle? You're conquering your fear whilst avoiding doing anything that is sinful, illegal, or immoral. So don't think, no, conquering my fear means I need to go and steal. No. Is it illegal? Is it legal? Is it not sinful? Is it not immoral? So if you're doing anything that is immoral, illegal, or sinful, then stop listening to this program because it is not for you. I'm looking at you taking that action to fulfill your God-given potential, to excel in whatever area you have, because God has given you that potential. You have the talent, and it is your duty to exploit that talent, to develop it, and then use it for your benefit and the benefit of mankind. Are you brave enough to handle this? If you are, stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side.